Gamebreaker TV.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to After Dark, the live call-in show, episode 9000 for November 20th, 2012. That's what it feels like. It's so damn late. Darnell, what the hell?
What's up?
And of course, from Weekly Marmot, all that other crap. Josh Allen, what's happening, bro?
Glub, space fish.
Glub, space fish. Don't know what's going on. What is this After Dark stuff we're doing? This is like, you know, serious.
Where am I?
Stuff.
What is this?
I don't know. I never did this before. It's like a whole new
Well,
world.
it's basically World of Warcraft and Guild Wars the show part 2, to be honest.
Oh,
Pretty much that.
That's pretty much all the questions we get?
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. All right, so screw all you guys. Let's take a call. I guess we started off with callers. Caller, what is your name? Where are you from?
My name is Jason.
Didn't I already talk to you in pre-show?
Yeah, you were talking to me just before the show started.
We set it up.
Called in about 5 times already.
I know your voice.
So,
I've heard you call before. You've called. Where are you from? You got fire tornadoes over there?
No, unfortunately not. I'm up here in Canada. We got more like tornadoes.
Oh.
So, my question here is, with the Battle.net World Champion done, and Blizzard didn't show off any trailers for upcoming games or the World of Warcraft movie, do you think that was a bad idea from Blizzard since we get no BlizzCon this year? And also, for Darnell, are you going to play any more Slender Man? We kind of didn't see you beat it last time. Kind of like to see you go through it again.
What the? There's no end to that game. You just go until you poop your pants, and then you're done. That's it. That's the end of the game right there. You win. It's basically how long can you go before you piss yourself and you need new draws, and after that it's like, yeah, I made him 6.5 minutes, and that's it. Yeah, that's a new record for me. Okay, well the game is over. That's all.
The audience just loves you, bro. That's really what it is. They really don't care about the game.
Or they don't love you. That's why they want you to keep playing Slenderman. Because they're like, screw that Darnell guy.
Are there more episodes of Slenderman? I haven't even paying attention. Are there more like episodes of Slenderman? Did they release more? Like 8 pages and you're done?
There's like a whole bunch of Slenderman games just like popping up all over the place.
Oh, is this going to be like the Klopp phenomenon? It's like the guy running, and then there's like this game, and then there's that game, and there's this one, and now it's all going to be flashlights and papers?
I can't wait for Angry Birds Slenderman edition.
Oh, no.
What was the first part of your question? I forgot. Blizzard not showing a movie clip?
They didn't announce anything at the Blizzard, or the Battle.net World Championship. They didn't announce anything, so...
Were the fans really, were you expecting something? Were you expecting a big announcement? I really wasn't even expecting an announcement. I mean, it wasn't BlizzCon.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I
wasn't really expecting anything out of, like, in terms of like, if they were going to announce something, that would be a good place to do it, but I wasn't particularly expecting anything, just because we know Heart of the Swarm is coming up. Mists of Pandaria just released. Diablo 3 sucks. So maybe a Diablo 3 expansion. I don't think Titan is far enough along yet that they would announce anything like that. So it was kind of...
This is probably why they didn't have a BlizzCon, actually, right? Maybe they figured out on the timeline that we were all depressed about why they weren't have a BlizzCon this year. Maybe it was because nothing was falling in line that they could actually even talk about.
Well, I mean, they did a BlizzCon. I don't remember which one. It might have been 2008, 2009. One of those. They did a BlizzCon where they just didn't announce anything. They're like, hey guys, welcome to BlizzCon. It was like the monk class in Diablo 3 was the big announcement, but that also didn't go over super well.
They could kind of talk about like poop on a stick, though.
Probably. Yeah.
No, that's not true because
and he'll be like, "I pooped on this stick," and everyone will be like, "Ah!"
No, I'm trying to think back to I went to 2 BlizzCons, but the first one I didn't go in. I just went, and then the last one I went to, and I'm kind of thinking like in terms of if there were no announcements, it would have kind of sucked. I mean, BlizzCon would still be fun, but if they didn't have all those keynotes and announcements, I wasn't bummed. And I definitely wasn't thinking that there would be a movie trailer or something like that. I mean, I still think that's not. I think that's just like smoke and mirrors at this point. Like it's definitely moving.
They only got like one, 2 games. I mean, it's not like they have like a whole bunch of things they got to talk about. It's not like, Activision going out there. It's like, oh, hey, yeah, we got Call of Duty 15 and a half coming out, or whatever the hell stupid games they're releasing. What is it called? Black Effect 2.
Black Effect.
Was that
19.
Activision? I don't even know, actually. I have no idea. But anyways, yeah, it's not like they don't really have anything to talk about. Damn, let's go out there, play some video games, stream it for the internet. And the internet's like, oh, they didn't talk about all my new releases and trailers and all that stuff, and they get mad. Come on. They got like 2 games.
They should bring back Rock and Roll Racing. Why don't they do Rock and Roll Racing HD? Wouldn't that be badass?
Rock and Roll. They should make it a mobile game. They should put it out on like Android.
Multiplayer
iOS.
mobile game. Rock and Roll Racing.
Yeah. I mean, like I have a game, and I actually did a just a tip for it. It's called Death Rally. That's kind of similar to Rock and Roll Racing. They could totally do it. It'd be awesome. And they should make freaking mobile pet battles while they're at it.
Do you know how mad the whole world would be? So mad. I mean, yeah, it'd be kind of awesome. It's like, oh, hey, that'd be kind of nice if they made a mobile game. But the whole world would be like, are you kidding me? You putting all this stuff in mobile games? You ain't making my favorite video game like Titan or something like that. That's it. Titan's a mobile game. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be a mobile game. You call mom, like, mom, you see how it all rolls downhill. See what happens?
We don't even have character models yet. You guys making mobile games.
Yeah, see, that's exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look at my tongue. It's like 1.5 polygons.
Let's take a Twitter question. WA Space, just because I love his name. It says, do you see other games following PS2? PlanetSide 2. Speaking of PlanetSide 2, hey, did you guys see Gamebreaker made it into the PlanetSide 2 trailer?
Oh my freaking god, no way. Really?
Oh my freaking god.
You didn't see it, bro? Darnell, where you been on the internet all day? Gamebreaker is in the PlanetSide 2 trailer. They used one of our shots. I don't know who made the shout out. It was either that guy Mike B or it was me.
That was the quote. That's what he said. The quote was,
oh
my freaking
yeah. Damn.
That's what that was, Gary.
Yeah. Whoosh, damn, ho. It's all right, yeah, you just feel Mike as his shoes. You're just gonna be there for us to ridicule, make fun of him. Go, it's all right though. It's good. It's good. You're doing a good job.
I'm trying. I'm filling in for him, so I gotta take the brunt of it. I gotta take a beating here.
Yeah. So whoosh, there it is. Whoosh.
All right, there it is. WA Space. I go back to him. What were we talking about? I forgot. He's saying, do you see other games following PlanetSide 2 and the Twitch TV idea, or will it be limited to them only? P.S. I got Wendy's. There's no way it's going to be limited. There's no way it's going to be limited. It's going to be like they're going to roll this out into like every online game possible, and there's no reason not to. I'm sure Twitch has the API to make this happen, and more game companies are going to want gamers to stream all day. I mean, why would you not put this in your game if you got it in the pipeline?
They already put that in Origin client is coming up soon. They have an update coming out. So any Origin game, see, Lord wouldn't know about this stuff because he's all like, no, I ain't playing no EA games. Nope, ever since the Mass Effect ending because I thought it was going to be all about indoctrination, but it wasn't. So I'm mad. I'm going to go and cry on my pancakes, etc., etc. That's when it's low right now. But anyways, yeah, so Origin's going to go ahead and add Twitch streaming inside of the thing. That's what we're talking about, right? Twitch streaming? Yeah. Inside of the client, so you could... And pancakes.
And Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what do you think?
I think it's something that a lot of... Yeah, put it in everything. You know what? Let's just not even play games anymore. Let's just watch other people play
Watch other
games.
people. Just get bots to, like, stream.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because earlier today, I was watching someone streaming... it is like WWE 2013, and he'd made a whole bunch of custom characters that were like different video game characters, and he just had the computer play all of the characters, and they would fight each other in the wrestling ring.
And you were watching it, weren't you?
Oh, I watched it for like hours. It was one of the most amazing things. No one was playing anything. It was just hilarious.
That's it. Gamebreaker's just gonna get bots. We're all gonna go back to regular jobs, just get bots and just stream bots all day. I don't know. I don't know what you kids are up to watching the streams, watching the gameplays. Let's take a question. Caller, you're online with After Dark. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hello.
Hi.
My name's Marlo. I'm from Anaheim, California, actually.
Oh, you're right down the street from me. Why don't you come up to the studio?
No, see, look, he's just like Mike S. I knew he was going to do this stuff. I told you he's going to be like, oh, every time someone calls in, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, I know where that is. I used to live by there, or I know someone by there. Oh, yeah, I know how to spell that word. Yeah, I understand that. He's just like Mike S. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
I was in Anaheim like last week, bro.
Yeah, I actually got to meet you guys at the Gamebreaker party last year for the BlizzCon event.
Sweet.
Oh, I didn't know about this party. Damn, I didn't know that. All right.
I don't remember much of that party, unfortunately. That was a horrible night.
What's your question, bro?
I just wanted to ask you guys about LFR and what you guys think on like some of the fights, like basically being like having like raid wipe mechanics for people that like don't know what's going on, like I don't know, like someone doesn't know what's going on in the fight and basically causes a raid wipe just by that one person. I mean, like, in Mogushan Vaults, I forget the thing, has like that arcane
Mogushan, that's right down the street. I know Mogushan, I've been there, bro.
I should have said that.
And kills everyone, kind of thing. Like, it's one ability that can kill the raid if one person doesn't know what's going on.
Josh,
I don't know exactly what the mechanic is that you're talking about in Mogushan.
Fang, he had, like in the third phase, he has the arcane that he puts on one person.
Oh,
and
right.
Up, it deals damage.
Yeah. Arcane, not velocity. The other one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, to some extent, as long as it's something that's healable, like in LFR, like I've had people. I actually just ran LFR before the show. And we had a guy who got that thing and just sort of sat in the raid, and it just kind of was okay because everybody else just sort of moved away from him, and it was all right. Like we took a whole bunch of extra damage, but it didn't wipe us. I think to a degree, as people get more used to the mechanics in LFR, and as people get better at compensating for the people that are. What are you doing? All right. I think, sure. Right now, the bigger ones are probably Garrelon in Heart of Fear, and Amber Shaper as well. There's a couple of mechanics on those fights that you can just straight up wipe your raid if you don't know what you're doing. But it just seems to be something that's sort of it's becoming less of an issue as time goes on. Like, all right, fine, I'm done. I'm fine. I'm done talking about it now. Fine.
What? No, didn't say anything. Go.
That's all I had anyway. I think it's something that, as long as it's not something that is a perpetual issue, then it's all right. It's okay in my mind if LFR is kind of annoying for the first couple of weeks as people learn mechanics, as long as it gets to that point where eventually it's not an issue because there's like one guy who's doing it and you yell at them and then they stop doing it.
All right, so another Twitter question. This one in from, this is going to be fun putting you guys on the spot. You guys ready to think on your toes? Ready?
No.
Jeff.
There's another one of those. Hey, make a whole list of things that would change the entire gaming industry. Right now, go!
Go! Do it! Jeff Wiggins says, hi, Gamebreaker After Dark team. If you could physically live in one game world, not IRL Earth, for all of eternity, which would you choose? Darnell?
Damn. Damn, I gotta think of one. Gotta think of one game world. It's gotta be one.
One.
Damn, it gotta be one game world. Like, God, I can't even think of one. Damn, I can't even do this. My mind is blank. Gotta be one. SWG. Yeah, SWG. That's what I'm being.
Damn,
Yep.
he took mine. You did, you bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen.
What was that? What was that game that Mike B did for Indie for breakfast or something, where there was just like boobs all over the screen and fighter jets nonstop? I'll go with that one because that was, at the very least, I'd
Boobs
die
and
of a
fighter
seizure in like
jets?
2 minutes. Yeah.
Boobs
Yeah,
and
they were
fighter
talking about
jets?
boobs and
Rocket
fighter jets and
girls.
rockets and dinosaurs. It was the most rock and roll ass video game you ever played in your life.
All right, I just changed my. I don't even know I don't even know what game that is, but that's the game I want to be in too. That sounds like a good one. All right, let's take another call. What's up? You're on with After Dark. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, my name is
I know where that place
Adrian.
is.
I'm
Yeah,
from
I know where that is.
Montreal,
Yeah,
Canada. And I just like to take the minute to say thanks to Gary because I've been watching gameplay a lot, and ever since I go on TS and I keep playing the A-team's theme, it's like just really, really addictive. Anyway, my question
You're welcome.
is
I didn't write the A-Team
about
song, but I wish I
TimeSplitter.
did.
So Crytek's holding a petition for creating a TimeSplitter HD collection. So they need at least 300,000 signatures. So I was wondering, what do you think of game companies being hesitant in creating a new game or a re-release of great classic games like TimeSplitters or FF7 when there's such a huge fan base that would love a re-release?
Oh, all right. Why the re-releases? Re-releases. They're all going to Kickstarter for re-releases on a lot of these games.
Yeah, that's kind of like the place to go. That's like the barometer for figuring out whether or not people actually give a crap about your game. It's easy for like 15 people or 300 people or whatever to get together and sign some stupid online petition. I sign online petitions all day long. It don't mean anything. Nothing's going to happen from them. No one cares about them. But all that matters is they go to Kickstarter. If you get lots of money for your game, and guess what? People probably want to play your game. There we go.
Why do you think? But why do you think? Seriously, why do you think it takes like for certain games? There are certain games that sort of stand out that it seems like a lot of gamers want as far as remakes go. I mean, what do you think? What do you think it's stopping them? Do you think it's really that maybe the actual metrics, like maybe amongst the hardcore players want this, but they obviously just know that if they actually spent the money to make like a Final Fantasy VII remake and something, the amount of money that it would cost them to make it, they just wouldn't recoup it. That's gonna be my guess. Is that the marketing department's just like, ain't gonna happen, guys.
Well, and the other question is, it's time that they could be spending on anything else at that point, too, so... oh, A-Team theme song. Alright, got it. Cool. I just heard sounds suddenly. I was like, is that from my headphones, or is that in the room? In the case of something like a Final Fantasy VII remix, if they were to re-release that today, they would absolutely have to, like, we're talking like a full-on remix, not just like a re-release on, because like they re-released it on mobile platforms, but it's just the same thing again. If we're talking like a full-on, like, here's a PS3 version of Final Fantasy VII again, they'd have to go through and redo all the models and everything. They'd have to go through the entire game again. Sure, they're not writing the story, but everything else in the game is something that would have to be redone from scratch. So why don't they just make a new Final Fantasy game, which will probably sell better? All things, like, being completely honest, a new Final Fantasy game, brand new Final Fantasy experience, would probably outsell a Final Fantasy VII remake. So that's kind of the other thing going on there.
What do you think's going on? What do you think's going on over at Square as well? There's a lot of crazy talk. You know, they got the Final Fantasy XIV debacle. They got the ex-president coming out saying like there's no vision over there. What happened to Square? There's even been like I forget his name, but there was a really prominent Asian developer who came and said that there's just no innovation going on at all, and just left. Like I don't know if he was in Korea or China or something, but just left. He came to the States because like he's like nobody's innovating. They're not doing anything. Like what? Remember back in the day when you were a kid and like JRPGs were like the best games possible. Like what Western developers couldn't even come close to some of the stuff they were doing back then, and now it's just like there's not that many good titles coming out.
I wasn't ever a huge fan of JRPGs, to be honest, so I was all about Sonic the Hedgehog back then. That was about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's basically in my mind, Square hasn't made a decent game since Final Fantasy IX. That's about it. That was the last Final Fantasy that I could really get into. Anything since then, I haven't really been able. And even then, honestly, I didn't really like Final Fantasy VIII either. I do still think that a new Final Fantasy game would outsell Final Fantasy VII for sure.
What do you think the new XIV is going to do? Do you think it's going to do well? I can't tell. Like I mean, the original XIV, like I was really hyped up for, loving it. Came out total crap. Throw the box around at Mike Schaffnit. Now they've kind of got me hook, line, and sinker again. Their new graphics, the new trailers they're putting out. I'm like, I'm intrigued again. They've at least got my interest. That's for sure.
I will believe it when I see it.
You think they're gonna totally fail second time around? Do you think they could totally just like fail first time, wipe, and just come back and just completely wipe again?
The question is how much of the old game is what's going to stick around, I think. How much of the old game that sucked is going to still be there when they do the re-release? Is there going to be are they going to be able to fix everything that was wrong? Because there's a lot wrong with that game. They're going to fix everything that was wrong with it? Or are they going to fix most of what's wrong with it and still end up with something that's worse than every other MMO on the market? That's the question. That's why I'm saying I'll believe it when I see it. Like, I will wait until I can get my hands on it and actually see what they're doing.
All right, second to the call. Call out with After Dark. What's up? What's up? What's your name?
Hi, my name is Dana Costelli from Bellingham, Washington.
Daniel or Daniel? Daniel or Danik?
Daniel, not
Daniel. Daniel.
All right. So my question is actually having to do with like somewhat Final Fantasy, and I'm wondering will series or brands ever die? Because every single year another Call of Duty that comes out, another Assassin's Creed comes out, and it's basically the same with some minor changes. And it just seems like they're really overkilling these brands, and to the point where the games suck, and then it's okay, we'll just reboot it. And now they're gonna reboot Devil May Cry, Tomb Raider, and Final Fantasy's like Final Fantasy 13-2. Now that they're making a third one, like what the, like is it just too expensive to make fresh ideas or anything for companies?
Well, I think what's expensive is taking a gamble on a brand new IP that you don't know if it's going to resonate with people. You know, people love Final Fantasy, so you know if you can get a good Final Fantasy game out and you can get it out to market, you know people will play it if it's good. If you start with a brand new IP from scratch out of nowhere and people don't really just fall in love with the characters and the backstory, well, now you got double screwed. Now you got to like have like some unbelievable game like Uncharted or something and really knock it out of the park.
Well, I think this is also partially why we were just talking about a second ago, why Kickstarter has become such an amazing tool for developers, and others similar like Indiegogo and so on. Crowdfunding has become a very attractive thing for especially indie developers to do nowadays, because a lot of times an you'll come up with you'll be an indie developer, you'll come up with a great idea for a game, and this idea is awesome, it's going to work and it's going to be amazing, but no publisher wants to pick it up because they could be spending that capital on crapping out another Call of Duty clone. So you get the funding from Kickstarter. You put out the game for cheaper than it would have been if it was through a major publisher. That's why we see games like Ravaged. It's $25. That was Kickstarter funded. Torchlight 2, I don't remember if that one got any funding through Kickstarter or not, but that one was $20. It's another indie game that was developed by an indie studio. I kind of feel like the old publisher model is the thing that's sort of stuck in the mud right now and saying, okay, we need to really release the same thing over and over and over and over again.
But if people buy it, I mean, that's what the players want. And you can't really say that the games are bad. You can't really say like Call of Duty 19 and a half, Black Effect 3 is really terrible. I mean, people are buying it, they're spending dollars, they're playing it, and I don't really buy. I mean, I feel like the hardcore elite gamers are always they're going to complain about everything. Like all people are going to call this show. Well, people calling this show, you're complaining about everything. You're just a bunch of complainers.
Yeah,
wow. Complain. MMOs, grind, games, blah, 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 blah.
I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that it's the traditional publisher model that gets stuck like that, where they're saying, okay, we need to come out with the same thing over and over again because it's a sure thing for us. Whereas you see something new come out, every once in a while you'll still see new franchises come out. But a lot of the times it is, okay, well, we came out with a new franchise and it was a huge risk for us. Fortunately, it paid off. Now we're going to release 5 more of the same title again.
They take very calculated risks.
There is, yeah, but basically I'm saying is there is still, it's not like that's the only thing that's happening, is basically what I'm saying. There is
like
still...
What was that Ubisoft game they're putting out that everyone freaked out about at E3? That kind of
the one where the dudes are like, yeah, he interfaces with the entire world using technology and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the things there are still big companies putting out new IP and stuff like that. It's just they're going to do like maybe one a year, maybe one every other year. They're going to they're not going to just like throw away the entire roster of titles and be like, all right, start from scratch. Yeah, that'll be a good year.
Well, I think when people just see the things, they get run into the ground. I mean, I think a really good example of this would be Fable Heroes. Damn. Fable, just leave Fable alone. Stop all that stuff. Fable Heroes is like it's just terrible. It's like some crappy, Mario Kart Connect, choirs, etc. Just dumb. But then like we have Kingdoms of Amalur, what is it? They come out and there's like, oh yeah, we got pretty decent reviews from this. Too bad it won excellent reviews. Oh, you failed. Shut down everything. Outside of other money issues, of course, yeah, but yeah, that would have been nice. At least something.
What is this Fable Heroes? I don't even know what Fable Heroes is.
It's Fable. You Fable. You put a Fable, right? Yeah.
I played Fable. What's Fable Heroes? A new one? Like just
basically take bobbleheads, take cartoon bobbleheads, and then make a kids game, require Connect, and then.
Oh, it sounds bad already.
Yeah, it's easy. I didn't only name some of the features.
All you had to say was Fable Connect.
Yeah, that's really all you had to do. We're definitely not the market for Connect, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just they got to stick with the IPs that at least worked from an IP standpoint and try and make a good game around it, just because they know that people love those games and they have just memories of playing those great games and things like that. So it's like you're just gonna. I'd love to see more innovation. The problem is when companies do innovate and they do put some games out, a lot of times gamers just like, I don't want that. I thought I wanted that.
And that's why I was talking about Kickstarter and such a second ago, because that's kind of where the innovation is nowadays. If you really want to, like, yeah, the major like publisher gaming industry right now, the big money games are the ones that are there are new ones coming out, but there's also a lot of rehashes in that environment. But if you're looking for the new crazy ideas, then you need to be paying more attention to the indie game markets, because that's where all the new fresh ideas are at the moment.
You think the Kickstarter thing's going to kind of like blow out though at some point? And I feel like the big people who are really utilizing Kickstarter to real benefit are like the older, more veteran developers who, made, a game like 10 years ago that they want to do a remake of it or something, and they can't get it funded because they just can't find money. And they're being really successful. And I think partially because it's like, hey, they shipped a game that you and I all loved. We remember it. We played it. We know they're competent people. They spend like $5,000 on a video to put on the Kickstarter site. Like they do everything well, and you trust that they're actually going to make the game, right? But I think I don't know how well are actually like smaller indie developers doing, like who you have no idea who they are, you don't know their name, and they're just like putting something up there. Are they doing that well?
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I keep waiting to hear the story, and it may have already happened and I just missed it, but I keep waiting to hear the story where some company says, okay, well, we ran this Kickstarter and we're going to make this game, and then they never actually make it. I keep waiting to hear when that because it's got to happen at some point, right?
Yeah,
like I don't think there's anything that where Kickstarter is going to come over to their house and be like, excuse me, you have to give all that money back, because that's not what the crowdfunding is. That's not. It literally says this is a donation towards getting this.
Q's telling me in chat. Yeah, okay. And I was gonna say I've almost put money on it that it probably has happened. I'm sure there's a lot of things on Kickstarter that actually don't get made. So apparently it has happened. I mean, it's really working really well for like the Tim Schafer's, Star Citizen. Like it's for veteran developers to like grab a couple million to go make the game that they want to make or a remake. So I think it's doing great. I don't know. I wonder if Kickstarter is gonna like just kind of flutter out at some point though.
No, I think in some weird twisted way that Kickstarter is kind of doing what iTunes and TuneCore and CD Baby does right now with independent musicians. It basically allows anybody to be able to go ahead and put music out on a platform that's accessible by anybody. And Kickstarter is kind of one of those things where it just kind of allows for you to do that. You don't have to have $1 billion and get a publishing deal and all that stuff and distribute it to EA or Activision or whatever. You can just go through and just use a service where you reach out directly to everybody and get money and then make your video game. At least I hope you make a video game. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's some weird twisted way. I feel like they're like iTunes and the Apple Store and all that stuff. Yeah. Or Android store, sure, that too. All right, keep talking over Gary. Keep going. Go ahead.
Right. No,
anyways, like I was saying, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I know that guy, Darren Alty. No, I was talking to today's episode of Monty's Minute with Monty Sharma. We actually talked a little bit about this, and it was kind of interesting because he had a point where the next incarnation of Kickstarter might be, and this is really interesting as well, is that instead of you just donating money and say getting the game, they're actually working on SEC laws and stuff right now with the stock market and things like that for companies to be able to like offer returns. So it's like you could basically invest in the company as a stockholder and actually see returns back on your money if the game goes out and actually makes money. That would be really interesting as well. Who knows if we'll see it.
Yep. Although I do think it's kind of funny though. I think it's kind of funny, Gary. Like, you look at the chat room, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, the WoW, what the WoW at? Oh, what the WoW at?" Didn't they already say in the stupid video they was like, "Yeah, coming in 2013."
Yeah, that's not.
It ain't 2013. Calm the hell down, chat room. Start spreading rumors and stuff like that. Damn.
Chat room loves to spread rumors. They keep sending me emails. I just keep believing that they're coming because it looks pretty. All right, there's another Twitter question. Let's see this one. Justin Kennedy, JK, says with MLG, ESL, and DreamHack teaming up for next year, what do you see in the future of esports? Do you want more? Josh, you're a huge esports fan. What do you think of this?
Do I want more esports?
I guess.
But, well, all right. I guess you talked me into it.
Shucks.
Darn. No, it's definitely very interesting. There has been a huge problem, like specifically that the teaming up that MLG, DreamHack, ESL, etc. are doing. Is to kind of help resolve this like weird scheduling problem that keeps coming up, where they're like, okay, we've got DreamHack on this date, and also MLG like the next weekend, and like it's actually because like there's so much specifically StarCraft 2 esports right now that it's like it's getting to the point that the gamers can't, like the pro gamers can't actually keep up with everything. There's just too many tournaments to go to. So that's definitely cool that they're willing to cooperate in something like that. It's definitely something that is going to be necessary moving forward for esports, StarCraft 2 in this case particularly. But also, I believe League of Legends is involved with this too.
Do you think that's a problem with esports right now? I almost feel like there's too much consumption. Like there's too many options. And it almost needs to be somehow dialed back and controlled by some sort of entity like the NFL or something like an organization. I think there's just too much, and too much is not always a good thing. And I think people get really burnt out, and you don't know what to watch, you don't know what to pay attention to. It's hard to follow. Like it's overload.
Well, can't they kind of do that already? Isn't MLG is North American, right? And DreamHack is like Swedish or something. We'll just say Europe. We're just gonna put them all together. And then ESL is like an English second language, so that's all them Portuguese and the Mexicans and everything. So all the Spanish people can have their own thing. See, they already got the leagues. They can set up just like that. There we go.
It used to be like that, but then all three of them just kind of were like, you know what? We're just going to be a global tournament now. And then
they've all tried to do that, right? That was the NASL. Isn't the NASL not really North America anymore either?
That it wasn't North American to begin with. I don't know why they call it the NASL. It was worldwide from the start. But yeah, there was and still is technically an organization like that for Brood War for the first StarCraft game called KESPA. And obviously everything was very focused around Korea at the time. It's a lot more international nowadays with StarCraft 2. But what ended up happening was KESPA just kind of got like super corrupt and started doing some really, really shady stuff to like make sure there's millions of things I could go into in terms of exactly what KESPA was doing that was so bad. But that I think is partially why we haven't seen that happen in StarCraft 2. There's been a couple of people a couple of groups that have tried to organize something like that, but they they have a very hard time actually getting like teams and such to cooperate with it, because the teams don't want another Kespa situation where Kespa ends up deciding everything about how the teams are run and where the players can play and so on, instead of the teams themselves and the players themselves. So it is something that I think everybody kind of understands something like that is going to need to happen at some point, but specifically the StarCraft community, but then also by extension the rest of the esports community, because so many people are so familiar with, especially the major leagues are so familiar with what happened in Brood War. People are so familiar with how that went down before that I think everybody's a little gun shy of actually doing something like that again.
Yeah, I can understand being gun shy about it, but I don't necessarily know if it's a bad idea. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's something that
I think there's too much. Like, I mean, there's so many streams going on every day. Every day there's not only like, 20 pros streaming, which is fine. There's also like X number of tournaments, and there's just so much going on. I think it like, the reason, call me old, but the reason I think the NFL worked so well is because like it was Sunday's day, and like Sunday became the day, and that was the day that you sat back and you had a cold beer and you ordered some pizza and you watched some football. And I know time's got to change, but it's hard to get people into sort of a routine, basically. I mean, we're creatures of habit, right? Like, we see the same thing with like Gamebreaker shows. If we like, tell everybody it's going to be on Monday, and then all of a sudden we switch to Wednesday, like half the people stop watching because you broke their routine. And I think for esports to grow, I think it really needs like an entity to come in and just kind of put some parameters around it and go like, no, this is what's going to happen. But I sort of think, unfortunately, you can't. Then there's the other side of it. It's almost like open source. It's like, well, everybody's streaming. Everybody's a caster. Everybody's doing this. And that's the way we wouldn't be here if there wasn't that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there is definitely something to the issue of there isn't like an esports day. There isn't like I'm going to flip on. Like, you can follow certain tournaments. Like the GSL, for example, is one that I can follow because I can say, okay, I wake up in the morning and there was GSL last night, so I'll go watch a couple of matches of GSL before, like, while I'm eating my breakfast or whatever. That's something that I can do because in that case, with that tournament, it's something that's going on all the time. But things like MLG and DreamHack, the sort of championship-style tournaments, those are a lot harder to actually fit into a schedule because it'll be like all of a sudden, okay, the next 3 days, I hope you didn't have anything planned because MLG is going on and you're going to watch the entirety of it. Or what ends up happening in my case is I just kind of go, okay, well, I can't watch all of it, so I'll just wait and watch the VODs when it's done afterwards. I'll find the good matches and I'll watch those afterwards, which, quite honestly, a lot of times ends up leaning into I didn't watch any of it at all because I just never got around to it. I went back to watch more GSL.
And I guess on the flip side now, thinking more about it, like I think Riot did a really good job with the last season, and it's probably more so just because they spent so much money marketing it and so much money on the production of the final event that it gave everybody the perception of this. It was a huge event, not just the perception, but it was big, and it made me pay attention to it more. Like, it made me kind of like, start jotting down times and stuff to watch, like, the preseason or leading up to it and all the matches and stuff like that. So maybe it's even just a question of they need to put actually more dollars behind it to kind of just market it better. All right, let's do another call.
Well,
Caller, you're on the line with Gamebreaker After Dark. What is your name?
Hi, Gary. My name is Rich. I'm calling from Breckenridge, Colorado.
Oh, I've never been to Breckenridge, Colorado. Never been there, Darnell. Don't know anybody.
Oh, yeah, funny.
What's your question?
Well, my question is, with the advent of swtor's free-to-play model, which pretty much seems to be right now universally panned, people seem pretty unsatisfied with the way they're going with it. What do you think is the best free-to-play model out there that swtor could use, as well as for like future MMOs? What do you think the best model of free-to-play is? The one that's most successful,
roll the dice.
The one
Pick anything.
satisfies players the best and makes them want to actually play the game, not from the MMO market, but I think that League of Legends model seems to be the most successful. I don't know how well that would integrate to an MMO model, but that's my thought.
Well, you answered it with my answer. I was going to say League of Legends. And I think it can work for an MMO. And I've been talking about this a lot on the Republic. And I don't want to get into like breakdowns of like a grid and what they should offer and what they shouldn't offer and what should be free and what they should pay for or anything like that. But what I've been saying is that what I don't like about swtor's model mainly is that the things that you're purchasing in the game are psychologically, they're putting you in a corner basically psychologically when you have to make that purchase. You're hitting a wall at some point. Like I'll use the UI, the graphic thing, for instance. You're hitting a wall where you need another UI bar to put spells on or your abilities on, and you're going like, oh crap, where do I put this? Oh, I have to buy this. You're not in a good mental state at that point when you actually have to spend your dollars, which is the complete opposite philosophy of League of Legends. Is where when you want to buy stuff, it's because you're like, damn, this game's awesome. Damn, I play this game for hours. This game is so much fun. I want that stupid skin that doesn't do anything in the game but look cool. And that's like a completely different mindset. That's what I think the biggest problem with swtor's model is. I think beyond that, as far as the grid stuff goes, Josh, in one side, but I think the only thing I do like is I actually like Sony's thing where they put that middle tier in of like a $5 a month gated system where you maybe don't get a full 30 days access. Maybe you get like, every other day play or something like that. So it's almost like fully unlocked, but it's less than 15.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of room for under $15 a month subscriptions. That's kind of an area that hasn't really been explored too much, and that's honestly probably because the free-to-play model has worked out so well for so many people. I definitely think, in swtor's case, I have a friend who said the F2P, it doesn't stand for free-to-play, it stands for frustrate to pay. That kind of seems to be what the model is with swtor is. Let's make people angry enough that they say, fine, take my $15. That seems to be exactly what their model is. And to me, that's a fundamental, like, just flaw in how you're looking at a free-to-play customer. In the case of something like League of Legends, well, I'm going to do it the other way around, actually. In the case of something like swtor, the swtor free-to-play model is every single free-to-play player they look at as a potential customer. And if that person does not spend money on the game, they consider that a failed sale. It's like, okay, well, we have not successfully gotten this guy to sell anything, so we don't actually care about them that much. We don't care if this guy stops playing because he's not spending any money on our game. Whereas with something like League of Legends, they're not looking at a person playing the game for totally free. They're not looking at them as a failed sale. They're looking at them as an asset. That's someone who is, A, in their game, making sure that there are people playing their game so that other people want to play it, but B, also telling their friends about it and saying, hey, I've got this, I found this game. Like, we should play League of Legends. And especially with games with team-based aspects to them, like, obviously, League of Legends, but also swtor. Like, people like to have other people to do the war zones with. People like to have other people to run dungeons with, or flashpoints, whatever you want to call them. I think it's something that if they had stepped back and said, okay, you know what, we're going to make this game awesome to play for free. And then we'll sell cosmetic items. We'll sell. They've got all the systems in place to do it too. When I saw their free-to-play model, I went, "Oh my god, how did they screw this up this bad?"
I'll defend them a little bit because over the weekend I was looking at this because it went free-to-play and I started downloading it again to jump in. And I went and looked at like Lotro's free-to-play model. I went and looked at EverQuest 2's free-to-play model, and I went and looked at something else. But I went and looked at like 3 other games and looking at what they're offering on their grid. swtor's model is not extremely far off. It is not like, it's just there are certain things that are standing out. And we're all talking about the quick slot bars. We're talking about the titles right now. You can't like throw up titles in game and things like that. But really, if you look at what's out there, I think some of them are a little wonky, like can't equip certain like purple items and things like that. But it's not insanely far off. It's like 80% close to what every other free to play MMO model is out there. So in their defense, I don't think it's awful, but they just threw a couple things in there that just allowed all of us to just like have more firepower and just like take aim at them.
Honestly, I don't think there should be a restriction on like the number of war zones you can play in a week. I think you should be able to play that nonstop. I don't think there should be a restriction on the items that you can equip or anything like that. I don't think there should be those restrictions because then if you have people who really enjoy playing their game, this is exactly the lesson to learn from the League of Legends free-to-play model is when people like playing your game for free, they will throw money at it like crazy. It's like the Penny Arcade comic where he was like, I've spent $50,000 on League of Legends.
I agree, and I think what you're basically also what you're saying turns around what it is the free to play model is not going to fix what's wrong with Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like there's issues with the game, and that's why people didn't stick around. And just because you're going to make it free to play does not fix those things. That
is a fair point to make. I do think they ended up improving a lot of the problems that I specifically had with the game as time went on. But there definitely were a lot of players feeling very burned on the game, and that's why the subscription model didn't work out. I feel like if they had, I don't know, played an MMORPG for more than 5 minutes before they designed Star Wars: The Old Republic, then maybe they would have had a game that would have survived with a subscription-based model. Ilum.
I'm not a developer, but like, here's what I don't understand. I mean, why don't some developer is going to email me tomorrow and tell me why this can't work? And I actually hope somebody does. If you're a developer out there, seriously, email me and tell me why this wouldn't work. Why wouldn't you start developing an MMO at the end game first? Why wouldn't you start with making the most amazing, awesome PvP maps? Like you need like 2 maps, 3 maps tops. I mean, look at League of Legends. There's 1 map and people play it over and over and over for years, right? You need start there, start with unbelievable raids, and then work forward and put all the other stuff in as filler. Because if everybody gets to the end and they're happy enough and they're content to play 2 or 3 maps just nonstop for the next like 6 months, you're in good shape. It just seems like
you mean like add in like the leveling experience, everything? You pretty much, I mean, outside of like, you know, end game and everything, you're pretty much describing Terra right there. And if I recall correctly, you seem to have a great big old deal with Terra and the questing and everything.
Well, I guess I'm not saying
put
to
in
neglect
crap content.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you start at the end and put amazing stuff, then that means what you're saying is that the amazing's at the end, which means something slightly less than amazing's in the middle and at the beginning. That's exactly what you're saying. Otherwise, what you're trying to say is,
no,
it's amazing from beginning to end. We're just going to start at the end and just keep the amazing going to the beginning.
Yeah, you have a point. You have a point, but I guess, Josh, because I got to defend it, because I guess what I'm thinking of is I am thinking about Ilum, and remember when they talked about Ilum and they threw it out there that they were going to have this open world PvP thing. It was like just like a month before launch, and everyone was like, "What? Like, where did this come from?" And I have a feeling that the developer said the same thing. Like, it wasn't ready. It wasn't really prepared. And it was like slapped in at the very last second because they needed another marketing hook of open world PvP.
I still don't think that Ilum was not designed by anyone who's ever played an MMORPG. Because like literally, when Ilum, like when people first started hitting level 50 in swtor, and we were talking about the whole patty cake back and forth thing that was going on in Ilum at the time, where nobody was actually PvPing. I just as an experiment, I like grabbed. I was on Mumble with a few guild members who were starting to play the game but hadn't gotten to end level yet and hadn't seen anything about Ilum yet. I said, "So Ilum's open," and I just like listed off the mechanics. I was like, "And if you take over a base, then you get something for it, and then they have to take over another base, a different base to recover it." And everybody just kind of went, "Well, wouldn't they just sit there and go back and forth?" Like, I didn't even say anything about how this was happening or how, like, I didn't even mention, like, directly that there weren't any rewards for fighting people. I just kind of said, well, yeah, you take over this area, and then this other area is what the other guys have to take over. And they just kind of said, well, then you're just going to patty cake back and forth the entire time. And I went, that's exactly what they're doing, which makes me think that the people who developed Ilum had not ever played an MMORPG, because it was really basic stuff. I mean, really basic. I mean, come on. Seriously.
So, all I can say is I don't think it was supposed to be how it came out, but I think people did know that it wasn't supposed to be like that. But there are other people within the corporate structure that don't listen to that.
Are those other people perhaps a 2-letter initial?
I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what that means. Let's take
another question. 2 vowels. Could you take 2 vowels and put them together?
Do you guys take like? We have like personal questions. I guess it's just any questions, right? I don't know. I have 2 questions here. I don't even know. Do we take anything? This is new. I'm sitting here for Mike Schaffnit. This isn't my show, so I don't know how this runs. So I'm going to lean on you guys. I mean, do you guys want to take do you want to take a question about, could you do a quick run through of the equipment used at the Gamebreaker show for how to do a Gamebreaker show? I've got that, and I've got somebody asking me about my background. Did we do those?
I don't.
Well, I mean, you know, we tell people to call in the ass, so they're kind of making the show themselves. So that's what you're calling in for, I guess. I don't know.
If that's what the public wants to know, then all right.
All right, Gary, go ahead and go through all the equipment and everything you need to make a show. Go. I'm out of here. All right.
Yeah, that just seems kind of
I'll be right
crazy.
back.
I'm not going to go through all the equipment to make a show. Maybe I'll make a video of it or something. And my
The answer is a lot.
There's a lot more than you would think that goes on in the studio, and there's a lot more gear. I'm surrounded by about 8 monitors right now with different things going on in all of them. It looks a lot.
Oh, but Gary, I have a webcam and Skype, and that's all I need, right? And XSplit. There we go.
Restart Skype, XSplit, exactly. No, there's a little bit more involved. Let's see. We got a caller. Let's take a caller. Caller, what's your name? You're on the line. After dark. Who are you?
Hey, I'm Chris, and I'm from Virginia.
What's up, Chris? How's Virginia treating you?
My wife's from Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, see, and Laura's doing it. Whereabouts? Richmond?
Lorton. Right outside DC.
All right, not bad. What's your question?
Yeah. My question is, what for you guys was your aha moment while playing MMOs? Like, mine was when I first got into my very first Alterac Valley, and I realized that it's just me and 40 other people's trying to do the exact same thing. And that was just kind of my, wow, this is the coolest thing ever moment.
Wow, this is the every MMOer's conversation piece at every convention, every time you're having beers.
And it's always a great conversation to have too.
Yeah, we always go back to this conversation. And this is
go ahead and start off with, back in vanilla. Go ahead.
I'm not going to vanilla. I'm going back to. I'll go back to SWG.
SWG.
I know. Actually, you know what? It actually won't be SWG. It'll actually my aha moment is really EverQuest, and it really wasn't even that big of a deal as far as like something happening. It was just, I'll never forget like buying it. Don't know why I bought it. I didn't even really know what it was. I just bought this game. It had like some hot mage chick on the front of it. It said EverQuest, and it said requires an internet connection. And I forget I had a modem, and it was like. I was like, what the heck is this thing? Anyway, I loaded it up.
Some kind of dubstep modem.
I remember the first time I saw another player inside of an MMO. And that actually was the moment I was just like, we were talking about this. I was talking about this with Monty as well. And it was the same thing for him. It's the same game too. He was Ultima Online. It was like, mine was EverQuest. And you were just like, that's a person. That's a person that just ran behind my computer screen. I know now it's like you take it for granted, just like, what? That's normal. But back then it was like, that's a real person. That's crazy. So I'd have to say probably EverQuest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Anarchy Online. My aha moment. It wasn't so much that there were other people there, because I was kind of like, obviously it was a different environment, but I'd been playing lots of multiplayer games already. Like I played a lot of Descent, I played a lot of Counter-Strike. So I was like, hey, okay, yeah, other people around, that's cool. But for me, it was, okay, I started playing Anarchy Online, and I made a Nanomage agent as my very first character, and anybody who played that game right now is going, oh my god, why would you do that? It's basically the worst possible first character to make in Anarchy Online. And I was dying like crazy. Like, I just died all the time. I could not stay alive for more than about 5 seconds. And I'm sitting there, I was like sitting there going, oh my god, this game is just terrible. Why would anyone play this game? I can't understand
you were
how
so
many
hooked. The claws were in you already.
And then I got a call from work saying, hey, where are you? And I went, I've been playing this for 14 hours. I have not slept. And that was my aha moment. I was like, oh, I get it now. It's terrible, but I can't put it down.
But it puts me in a mesmerizing trance, and I lose track of time and gain weight.
and I have to be better at this. So I was like, hey, I was up all night, sick. Can I not come in today? And they were like, all right, fine. So then I played more Anarchy.
Darnell, what was your moment? You got to have a moment as well.
I mean, if I just go ahead and excuse the fact that I'm staying in World of Warcraft for a minute and talk about another game, I think I'll be all right. Let's see. So yeah, this game called 10.6, the greatest game ever made. Basically, you create these settlements and everything, and you collect these resources and all that stuff, and you own this plot of land on this giant planet Visitor, right? And then what ends up happening is you log off for the night. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this stuff. I'm going to build all these settlements all over the place. I'm like, yeah, I'm mining all these resources. I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep now. I'm going to come back in tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. And so then I came back the next day and I went back to my, my settlement that I had set up. And then right when you walk in, it says, this settlement had been destroyed by XX face fat XX something. And I was like, damn, that dude's a jerk, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go and build another settlement somewhere else. And like, all right, there we go. Yeah, now I'm good. Okay, I'm going to come back tomorrow, collect it up. And I came back the next day, and it was some other dude's name. And I was like, oh, that was my aha moment. I was like, there's so many people in here beating up all my settlements. This is a big-ass game. And every single time I lost something, it was always someone else. So that's how I knew that I was playing a big-ass game. There we go. Aha.
I feel like such a complete ass noob for not even knowing 10.6. Like, I didn't even know about it. Did you play it, Josh?
It was a great game.
I wish I knew about it. I never even heard of it before I met Darnell. I've never even heard of it. Meridian 59, Ultima Online, EverQuest, SWG, like all of them. Never heard of 10.6 ever. Is it still up? Do they still have, oh, shut up. Do they still have any 10.6 servers up?
Yeah, there's like some home servers, private servers or something, but you can actually go. It's called Planet Visitor now, and you could go and you can play it if you want. It looks like crap though. I'm not gonna lie, Gary. I was like, yeah, rose tinted goggles, etc. And I went back, I found, I was like, damn, this is the crappiest ass looking game. I'm out. I'll go ahead and just remember stuff better than what it looks right now.
Yeah, see, that's the worst thing about this question is that like you forget all the shitty stuff that went on in your MMO that you have those memories of, and you just remember like the best things about it. Like for me, it was SWG, and I could talk all day about how many things were amazing in that game, but at the end of the day, there was so much broken. It was just a disaster. We just forget about those things.
I used to spend all day in Anarchy as a fixer, just speedrunning missions all day, and I went back to do that about a year or so ago, just to check it out again. Just like, I'm bored, Dragon Soul, LOL. So I went back, I guess it wasn't even that long ago then. I went back and I was like, I'm gonna make a new fixer. Now I've got my AoE roots, got my heal over times. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna speed run some missions. And I was like, this is boring. This game looks like crap. I'm going to go do something else now. And I was sad.
And he was sad. All right, let's take another caller. Caller, you're on the line with After Dark. What's your name?
Hello.
What was your name?
Hi, it's Nicole from Alberta in Canada.
Oh, another Canada. We're big in Canada, obviously.
My question is, do you think it's possible for World of Warcraft, to implement
really
housing like Rift Dimensions? They already have new systems like farming in Half Hill and pet battles. Do you think this would be impossible?
Oh, nothing's impossible for Blizzard. They have mountains of money.
Just lazy.
They just gotta wait to see if it works in Rift, and if it does, then they go ahead and put it in. There we go.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's pretty much the answer right there.
I mean, it's definitely something that they can take the technology that they're using on the farm right now and really easily port that over into giving you a personal house instead. In fact, the farm is about 2 couches away from being player housing at this point anyway. So it's I would be amazed if that's not something that we see in the next, maybe not the next expansion, but within the next 2 expansions in World of Warcraft. If we don't see housing of some sort come to World of Warcraft in the next 3 years, then I will be shocked, honestly.
I would as well. And I think what bringing Rift Dimensions is obviously a great, sort of model to look at based on kind of looking at like the success of Minecraft, right? It's before that, our player housing, I'll go back and say SWG had the best player housing ever, but it still wasn't as granular as like a building experience. It didn't have, you bought like a hut and you placed it somewhere, but then that was your hut. You could put stuff in your hut, but that was it. It wasn't as much of an experience as like Dimensions are, but and I think, people love building stuff, right? If they build the tools right. Look at Minecraft. It was like endless upon endless amounts of hours still to this day of people just building different stuff. So will WoW do it? They've been very much against player housing for a long time. Do you think they were just against it because they weren't really thinking of it in terms of building a building experience and more of just like a, hey, here's your room at the inn?
Expensive.
Yeah, there we go.
That's pretty much it. But now that they have the farm in place, like they basically have the technology that's necessary to put something like that in the game. I don't think World of Warcraft would do anything as involved as Dimensions, where you're straight up building everything yourself. I don't think they would do anything nearly that involved. But I think there is a very high chance that we will at some point see something like okay, here's this village over here. You can select one of these houses to be your house. I'm sure 43,000 other people have selected that same house. Maybe it's like a question of, maybe it'll be like a Fable sort of thing where the different houses cost different amounts or something. I don't know. But I think it will be, I think we'll almost definitely see something at some point where you can get a house somewhere and you can put stuff in it, and that'll be about it.
Yeah, see, that's where I think.
And once they put that in, Valley, Canada, girl, I'll go ahead and send you my address, so you go ahead and check it out. I'll show you what real house is like. That's the real reason why. Let's be honest, Gary. That's the real reason she called in because of that. I thought she was all stuttering and stuff like that. She was all, yeah, well, good. How? What? See, it's because of me.
She's a rapper.
No, what? No, damn.
What? Yeah.
I think a Twitter question from Sarah. It's an interesting one. Yeah. Where do you guys think you'd be if World of Warcraft didn't exist? Darnell, go.
Damn. Oh. How am I supposed to answer that?
I don't know. It's a lot more interesting for you to answer than either of the two of us, because we could just make something up, and I could say, Yeah,
because you all still be there. That's why you guys will still be there. Like,
I'd be in jail. Damn. I don't know. Maybe prison. That'd probably be it. I'd probably be in prison. But Darnell, I have no idea what your answer is going to be, so.
I'll be in Clopland. That's what I'll be. Yeah, Clopland. That's it. That's all I got. I guess I wouldn't be out here. It won't be some fat pandas laying over there with some skinny girl or something like that.
What is that fat
panda? Eat a cheeseburger, skinny girl.
What's he doing back there? What is the fat panda doing? What is going on back there? Can you zoom in a little bit? Can we see what's happening over there?
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
Hey! Fat panda! Yo, hey! Skinny girl! Hello, hey! Get off my show! It's my show. Wake up! Fat and skinny.
Josh, where would you be if World of Warcraft didn't exist?
Drunk. So not much different.
Pretty much the same. All right, last caller of the night. Better make it good. Who I got on the line?
Oh, you got me?
I got you, bro. You're live. You're live on the internet. You're an international superstar on the interwebs with 500 million people are listening right now. So they're all waiting for your question. What's your name?
My name's, my friends call me Dart Frogger. We'll go with that. And I'm from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. So another Canadian.
Oh my God! Really? What is he? What is it? What is he saying?
I can't understand him through the can that he's talking into. What the hell? What is that?
He's from Canada, Darnell. He's from Canada.
Oh, you need to pull that string a little bit tighter when you talk.
Another Canuck.
Space fish.
All right, bro. What's your what was your name again? Dark Frogger?
Dart Frogger, like poison dart frogs, because I breed them.
Poison Dart Frogger. Dart Frogger was a great game. You guys remember Frogger?
The old tangent time.
No. Well, first thing I gotta let you know is that I've got 5 stacks of Nephilim Valor. So just put that out there. But so my question is, I know you guys hate Diablo 3, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. So the question is, if you had to bet money, I don't know, WoW, Gold, wherever you guys want to bet, I don't really care. What would you think that the new expansion characters are going to be for the Diablo 3 expansion?
Ooh. I would love to see a Necro come back. I mean, I guess it kind of overlaps with Witch Doctor a bit. I would love to see Fat White Dude.
Yeah, Donna loves some Fat White Dudes too. I'm with Law. We're gonna watch Fat White Dudes together.
You gotta watch them together.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Josh?
I don't remember. Something about Necros and
How about a bard?
Witch Doctors and Paladins.
A bar. That come on, that'd be the dumbest thing. Come on. In Diablo 3. Running around playing your stupid guitar. Bring.
Somebody's getting assaulted. Somebody's getting assaulted back there. What's going on?
No, he's just dancing. I mean, it's basically assault, but...
Hey, put some clothes on! Hey! Fat! Stop stomping on that poor young lady! Damn. Fat white dudes everywhere. Look at him. Chunky. Look at his cankles. Look at them cankles. Look at it. It's just like thigh, calf, feet, toes.
Josh Allen, aka Lore. Follow me on Twitter at DevilLore.
Glub Space Fish.
This was fun. I was glad to be on with you guys on After Dark. A little bit After Dark. Space Dicks. What's up, Josh D? Josh D, I don't know. Darnell, follow me at Darnell's up.
What the hell's even going on? What the? Yeah.
What?
Yep.
After
yeah. Yep.
Darnell, Josh, me, and Audible.com, baby. Forgot to do the plug. Here you go. Guys, got to go over audible.com/Gamebreaker. Audible.com/Gamebreaker. Try Audible free for 30 days. Plus, get a free audiobook right now with your name on it.
I'll kill you.
You got to try it. It's the Audible free for 30 days and a free audiobook. Check it out now. Go to audible.com/Gamebreaker for that. Check it. Check it.
Yeah.